This week it is a special edition of the World on Water as we look at the first 6 races in the 37th America's Cup in Barcelona, Spain. This is your weekly global sailing highlights show, The World on Water, for October 18, 2024. Race 1 coming in from the port end, Emirates Team New Zealand dial in at 2 minutes 10 seconds whilst the INEOS Britannia are late, having being off the foils and are forced to tack at the right boundary to come into the start. Emirates Team New Zealand tack underneath IB and lead them into the box with just over a minute to go to the start. Emirates Team New Zealand lead out to the right boundary and tack around. In Race 2 and at 2 minutes 10, INEOS Britannia drives in hard and goes for the cross. Emirates Team New Zealand come in bang on time and gybe round to follow INEOS Britannia, who tack around and then follow Emirates Team New Zealand, but Emirates Team New Zealand come back at INEOS Britannia aggressively on starboard tack before trailing INEOS Britannia down to the right boundary. Emirates Team New Zealand tack around high on the line with 20 seconds to go and then come in aggressively on INEOS Britannia's line. Emirates Team New Zealand starts at the starboard end and tack away immediately to the right side.
Yeah, day one of the America's Cup finals here in Barcelona, and tricky start for us, getting 2 losses to Emirates Team New Zealand. Tricky wind, quite a lot further right than what we've seen out of that kind of southwest 50 and puffy. Obviously have to wait for quite a while for the wind to come in behind some rain, and in the first race Emirates Team New Zealand got the jump on us from the start and really controlled the race from there. In the second race we had a really good battle with them. It was super close, a couple of close crosses for at least the first 2 or 3 laps. Yeah, it was a lot of encouragement from that second race that we'll take into tomorrow and start getting some wins under our belt.
There was ruthless execution on display in the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup match as Emirates Team New Zealand extended their advantage to 3-0 after forcing a penalty on the challenger of record INEOS Britannia in the pre-start period of the only race completed today in Barcelona. Conditions were promising in the early afternoon, but forecasters were expecting a slow shutdown of the easterly breeze, which, unfortunately, took place faster than expected.
Race for us, nice conditions, sort of 10 knots, some small waves around, but we had a nice good start against the Kiwis, got the third. Have to look into it and see how we can come out fight stronger on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday looks good for racing. There's 2 races, some much bigger waves, which I think is good for us at the end of the day, so we'll see how we go then.
In a closely fought race that rewarded the most marginal of gains, Emirates Team New Zealand took 1 more point in the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup match this afternoon in Barcelona, with a 4th consecutive victory over INEOS Britannia that advanced them to within 3 points of victory in this 1-7 series. It was a tough loss for the British, who came out with a very different pre-start game plan, electing to disengage from any potential penalty-inducing close calls and instead trusting in the outright speed of their yacht Britannia to try to outmuscle the Kiwis in a straight line. Race 5 got underway on time with a wind above the 6.5 knots lower racing limit and a lumpy, bumpy, residual sea state that made it challenging to keep the AC-75s flying consistently. In essence, this race was decided soon after Emirates Team New Zealand dialed into the starting box from the port end. They were on time, but without the speed to comfortably cross INEOS Britannia's starboard gybe entry. The onboard decision to gybe around saw the Taihoro lose speed and drop into. In race 6, INEOS Britannia came in from the port side and immediately there was pre-start aggression from both teams. After crossing the Kiwis, the British went into their customary tack to take themselves above the start line and were followed closely by Emirates Team New Zealand, who had set up as the hunter. A peel away to the right by the British saw both boats close running to the boundary, with Britannia pinned out to windward and trying to outrun the Kiwis to lose.